What's going on? What's the topic?
Wait. I'm going to say. Right. I've just pressed the button. We're now live for the hangout. Recording.
Yeah.
I'm here today with Miriam and also David Giamitia, and Claudio will be joining us. I've sent him the link, and obviously over to Miriam now.
All right. Hi everyone. Let me see if I can do an link share. What was it again? Screen share. That was it. Oops. Or do I do that now wrong again?
You can do it. We're not live, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Cool.
We're not that live. We're only filming it.
All right. Let me see.
You're safe.
This screen sharing, because I prepared several things. Now.
Hello. Hang on. Just getting my.
Hey, there's Claudio. All right, we'll say hello to Claudio now. Claudio, hello, my darling. We're on here with David Giamitia, me, and Miriam. Miriam is Starconnections.
Hi, David.
Hi, Claudio.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Nice to be here with you guys. Very nice. I really enjoyed listening to you.
Awesome.
To both
Same
of
here.
you. Yeah,
Same
great.
here.
Ciao, fratello.
Ciao, fratello.
Hey, I'm the last. I'm the one out here.
Ciao, bella. Ciao, bella.
Great. Thank you, Karen, for doing this. Excellent.
I thought you'd like each other.
Yeah, it's nice to bounce different ideas and different thoughts, and it's also very genius. I don't know who came up with the Iris. That's David, huh?
No, that's David talks about it, but it was Claudio.
Okay, yeah.
What do you mean?
Absolutely.
Eris the Madonna.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Right.
No, absolutely genius. I had to check to put Iris in the charts in the system and check where she was at the date that you gave, and yeah, she was indeed conjunct to Sun. So, and Venus was far away, so that never could have been Venus. So that was a nice one to confirm. Yeah.
Right. And just to jump on top of that, the way they got my attention is I seen the glyph of Eris, the winged woman in the clouds. One night I get woken up and I said my intentions. I went inside the house and then I went and looked, and Eris was behind that cloud. So like they're talking to me. So I know what I know. And backed up with metaphysics and astrology from Ken Wheeler and Santos Bonacci and everything that's been going on. I mean, and plus they're giving me signs. It's like, it's easier to swim through these muddy waters, right?
Yeah, not exactly. And it's yeah, I heard that you how you got to that. Very nice. Yeah, I used to use the asteroids before I started with medieval astrology. I was very into the asteroid stuff and things, but when I started with medieval astrology, it was complete change over. I had to radically change everything, including Indian astrology is also part of it, except that we do not use the sidereal, but there's another reason for that, and that's what I would like to explain as well, because you cannot say this system is wrong and that system is right.
We cannot. Agreed.
You just got to see it from different angles and understand what it is that you're looking at. And first of all, what I understand with the Indian astrology, yeah, all the terminology is also very different. The bhaktis or the, I don't know exactly how they are called, but they seem to stay the same when you change from tropical to sidereal. So, and that is the key thing that is being used in the Indian astrology. So I don't know how to calculate those. That's why I'm not using it. I only use that what I know how to calculate. In that manner, I'm still old school, and I like that.
Just to say that you're showing, if you're showing, are you showing us anything or not?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. Just checking. I can see me up there now on your icon.
Yeah. All right. Where do I go? Then I need to minimize this. It's full screen. Exit full screen. Yes. That's where I go. Let's go to, yeah, let's do this one first. I did this morning, slideshow. Let's see, that's the easiest way to start. Okay, the archetype of the cosmos, or the atom, or, you know, the prima mobile, the unmover, the unmoving mover, as it's called, or God, whatever you want to call it. So if you have the zodiac as the archetypal man, then Aries is the principal point of the male aspect, and Libra is the feminine side of things. And then each one has still the same facet of life as you would describe the houses towards. Then this is in the Aryan age. That was, I think, the Roman period, as they say in history, but I'm not really sure about all the dates that are given from the history books and stuff. So then we get the Piscean age, whereby the Pisces becomes the male aspect, and Virgo the feminine aspect. So there you see that Pisces religions, that is something that really came to the foreground in the last 2000 years, and the feminine became more the underdog and the servant. That's what we are coming out now. Yeah. So then each facet changes as well. This is also you could see like a derivative house system. That's a similar kind of use, how you use the houses. But this is just basically the archetypal man in its totality, and how it influences us at a on a big scale. Then we go to the Aquarian age. Yeah, it's I just had to improvise by getting this together. So then you have Aquarius on the male side and Leo on the feminine side. Well, that gives a very different feel to things. Huh? So the woman, the feminine comes out of that underdog, a Virgo, slave kind of servant in the kitchen, breeding machine thing. So then the Aquarian, that's very
I like the way you put that, Miriam.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's about time that these things are changing. So the Aquarian man, Aquarius is very philosophical. It's ruled by Saturn. Technology is also part of it. But it, you know, that like the whole transhuman or that becoming a robot and everything, it will not hold stand, because it's not going hand in hand with nature. As much as they try, it's just not possible, in my opinion. Anyway, but it's up to us. Huh? We mustn't be apathic. We are incredibly powerful, and especially when we go inward. That's where you really develop yourself, actually. So feminine side, Leo, and then for me, Sekhmet comes to mind straight away. And yeah, so that's the feminine energy that we are going to get. We are all talking about the Aquarian age, but that's...
What's the name of that one? Sorry, Miriam, what's the name of that one? I just want to jot that down. Would you say it was called?
That is Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess, Sekhmet.
How do you spell that?
S-E, oh gosh.
S-E-K, I think I have this written down in some of the...
I think, yeah.
I have some, just sorry to butt in, I have some written and done a story on my on the channel here, the Order and Chaos. I went Egyptian and I went Apep and Atum Osiris, Isis, and these. Oh wow, this is so amazing. These characters are in that just paperwork I've got, so I'll willingly share that. These haven't got passwords on. They're open, so these are just some of my studies, of not mine, but my collations, and
Yeah.
up to the press. What would interpretation? So I'd like to see how we all interpret this. Yeah, brilliant. Carry on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. I think it is very important to integrate as many different cultures that relate to the same archetypal energy. Yeah.
Right. See, my curious thing is that is Sekhmet the same as the Madonna,
No,
Eris, and all that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because even
no.
I just found out Freya fits the exact same mold too.
Yeah, Freya is Friday, is Lakshmi, is Aphrodite, is Venus, and Ishtar. So yeah, and maybe also Isis, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, the goddess of Venus, or Venus, the goddess, Aphrodite, Lakshmi, and all those are the same, and they're all been honored on Friday, which is the day of Freya. So Sekhmet, she was sent already down to earth by the gods to, because she is the goddess of healing. She take care of the sick, but she can also kill. Yeah, so they had to call her back because she was just gone completely nuts and wild and was killing everybody. So you've got to be careful with this energy as well. You know, it's
So that would mean to me. So that would mean to me, if she's the Grim Reaper, then that would mean to me she's Ceres, Ceres, the goddess of harvest.
no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I wouldn't think there's more than one goddess that kills, right?
Yeah, it would be interesting how you put them together. I know
Yeah,
that.
I'll research it, right? Because I mean, a lot of the
Yeah.
all the different ages, all the different religions, all the different, they all come in as one, right? And then we're trying to decipher which one's which. So
Exactly. Yeah.
because if you want to follow them in astrology, you know, there's no Sekhmet in an astrology. The ones, at least the apps that I use, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No.
I'm just
No.
trying to.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. And if you take, for instance, the Japanese. I love the Japanese. How you say that? These stories, the beginning of the earth, the creation stories, the creation story of the Japanese with Izanagi and Izanami. It's a fascinating story, and they got their first children were the sun and the moon, but the sun was Amaterasu, is a female, and the moon is male. So, you know, it's very interesting to lay them all next to each other, and that's where you get a feel of what it actually is and how these wheels turn and how they might change from female to male, or you know, because you have, if I take I need to go back to one. Yeah, so she can be very fierce, but she's very powerful.
Oh, can you go back one, please? Can you go back one?
This is brilliant. I'm so enjoying this.
This one?
Oh, can you go
This
back
one?
one? No, keep going back. Right there. There's a size. That's Ceres.
Okay. All right. So, but this is a modern interpretation of someone, but it might make sense. So, if you would look into that, it would be great. But yeah.
Oh, I definitely will. Thank you, sister. Thank you. This is all awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love Sekhmet, and especially in the age of Aquarius, it's the feminine side that we have to look at because that's Leo.
So, if I may just jump in, because and if you want to wait to the end, I can keep my questions. It's totally up to you. How do you want to handle it?
No, go for it.
Okay, so I've done 3 or 4 people now with their charts with using the asteroids now, right? And the Ceres with Saturn, those people that have strong aspects with those two have depression and suicidal. And very, very strong in charts. I'm a strong believer that if you are awake, you don't have to go, right? But if you're not awake, then you may just get plucked and get rebirthed. But I just wanted to mention that it's very important, and we've seen that. And again, I'm guided to people who, one person went through this whole thing, and now his whole life is based around helping people that are in that not good state. So I did his chart, and I did another friend of ours chart who was been having, and I can tell exactly when those happened to her.
Right. Yeah, it's fascinating how they work. That's brilliant. Yeah, no, since I did started with the medieval astrology, I put first of all the outer planets out and all the asteroids. So you're basically with the raw framework of that what is visible to you. And the way, yeah, Robert Zoller, he was my teacher for astrology. Let me see where I got him. It's ooh, oh, that has gone then. He passed away in January, but he has been a very important person for the astrology community, and he brought actually all the foundations for the medieval astrology back to life, which really, yeah, as I had already been studying for more than 20 years the astrology by then, so it was very not easy to chuck things out and really redo and change everything. And only the moment when I started using the equal house system over, say, the Placidus system, that was when I realized why we are on a flat stationary plane. There, the other house divisions don't make sense. Although with the Midkuli, the MC, that might be a little bit different depending on what time of the year you are, and your location. So, but you take all these things away, because I remember when I was doing charts before then, it was so easy to jump to the outer planets and to use the asteroids, and you make it very complex, and it's all very beautiful, and it adds all towards psychological astrology, but it does not give you really that what really will be tangible, that what is there, what will produce, what will be happening. The other ones are more like possibilities. Also, everything in astrology are given possibilities. Let me give you a nice example of that. That is the Jupiter. It's a little joke. This
Hello.
yeah.
May I?
No,
Excuse me.
this makes really totally sense of how astrology. Yeah.
Miriam. Sorry, David just wanted to say something. Go on, David.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Before you change
Hello,
subject.
Miriam. I don't mean to be rude. I'm going to jump on the interrupt mode because you've said some beautiful phrases there. Yeah, I can tell you are in your fields of modality quite advanced in this. I am not an astrologer. What I have done is a lot of historical research. I've done. I'm a self-scholar, if you like, with regards to law, history, the Hermeticism, Thoth and Enki, Enlil, the books, the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I've never ever, except with Santos and a few others, and Claudio and others, looked at the heavens and the correlation. I see the names and Zeus and Jesus and Mars and Jupiter and Satan, and I'm aware, but I'm very, very a novice at this. But when you mentioned where you are and what I've spoken with this with Claudio as well. I just, if I may, just take a couple of minutes to read you something that I'm willing to share with you and send. It's a 36-page document that I'm looking at, and it's for all to view. But when you mention the planets and the names and creation, and I just like to say that I've got some Egyptian history that's come through the research within the Kabbalion and the hymns of Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, and then Gematria, and very many, not just one area, but many areas that I would like to offer some insight with a Tum. I'll read an excerpt if I may. Could I have a minute?
Yeah, great.
If you're interested, or I'll email it, whichever you want.
Yeah, I would love to. I'm also very interested in that, and I'm also like always digging and trying to find information and trying to make up my own mind and stuff. And did I hear you saying also the Bok Saga?
The what? Sorry, the what saga?
The Bok Saga.
The Bok Saga. What's that?
Oh,
No.
I thought you were mentioning that one as well. No, that you do that first, and I'll come back on that.
All right, and okay, yeah, we're pinning stuff already. All right, and thank you. Your pictures as well. Kudos for the pictures. It's always good to put you know, connectivity, visual aids to the gods and the deities that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, just say thank you for them. Right, I have a few publications, and I do struggle to get accurate depictions of things, you know, of the time that are accurate and not meddled with, so, or defaced either. So. Yeah, the story is the noon. In the beginning, there was the noon, and it's about creation. It's an Egyptian idea of yeah, philosophy, where there was the noon, and the noon was not happy with itself, and it was in different states, perpetual, and then it decided to expand. So there's a creation theory of Egyptian origin, which is ancient, and Christian time, all right, and after Zoroaster, 6000 BC, and Ishtar, and all of this. But in line, I think this may be an interpretation of the previous civilizations, and, you know, Egypt itself having a Greek name. Egypt is not, it was Kemet, wasn't it? Chem, alchemy, and so forth. So it reads an excerpt on page 7 of 36. I'll read a little bit and then I'll yield for you. But after Geb and Nut were separated, the children inside Nut's womb were, Nut's an Egyptian god, by the way, for just to put it in there. Well, not for you, but for the viewers and stuff. They were finally allowed to step into the world of creation, and all at once, Isis, Nephthys, Osiris, and Set were born, created. Atum was very satisfied with these new forces, of which were his grandchildren. Yet Set reminded him of Apep, and because of this, he was very wary. Even so, all the pieces were now in place for Atum to begin the culmination of his struggles. With an earth established and an atmosphere to support it, along with a pantheon of gods to govern it, the land of Kem, aka Egypt, Kemet, was almost ready to receive the gift that would be known as life. There's stuff here about Thoth, and I'll skip that bit. Atum made another being that was an exact yet more condensed version of himself. This new being was named Amun-Ra, and he was the direct son of Atum, the son of God. That goes into that. The first phase of manifestation had now been completed. The land of Kem, Egypt, had now a sun, S-O-N, S-U-N, which would make it suitable for life. Yet the sun was so important that Amun-Ra had chosen to govern that celestial sphere by himself alone, instead of placing it in the hands of one of his children. And being the direct son of Atum, and being in control of the sun, and Amun-Ra selected himself as the king of gods alongside this. Amun-Ra told Isis and Nephthys they were to act together as a second and darker light. Here we go. This is what pricked my ears when you spoke. There's a second and darker light than the sun. This reflection of sunlight was also called the moon. Since life was about to begin, both Isis and Nephthys were also to help manage the process of death that was to follow the activity of life. I'm near the end. They were also both given the other powers and responsibilities as well, including fertility and watching over the crops that life would need to sustain itself. May I draw you to moon planting famine, the moon cycles, and what we've learned there. Osiris was also charged with governing fatality, but was given another very important task. Amun-Ra told Osiris that he would soon create mankind, and Osiris was to be the leader of the species. And it goes into then extrapolations of order and chaos and sun and moon, nature. But Amun-Ra, I'll end with this, then created more children, he gave birth to Ma'at, M-A''A''T, that's Ma'at or Mart or something similar to pronunciation, and they would act as the living embodiment of order. As long as Ma'at lived, so would order. She was to represent all that was good and true. Because of this, she was joined together with Thoth, in marriage. And I draw you then to Aphrodite, because you have Aphrodite and hermaphrodite. Okay, hermaphrodite, Hermes and Aphrodite, dual sex in man is a hermaphrodite, and we've got Thoth here joining with Ma'at, and Sekhmet, Amun-Ra created a being with two aspects named Sekhmet, or is also known as Hathor, which is Hathor, or Hathor, which is Thor, Greek side, like we have Hermes and Trismes, Enki, Buddha, these kind of different names, one character, one consciousness. So Amun-Ra created a being with two aspects into them, named Sekhmet or Hathor, who could either spread infinite love or hatred, depending on what she saw fit. And I'll end it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, that's Sekhmet. And I think that's where you get as well the deity Kali, which is another incarnation of Parvati. And that brings me actually again to the card of the lovers. Let me go here, 13 eclipses. I'm just going to skip quickly here because I put them there. Come on. Let me just see where it is. Wait, I'll do it like that. This one. Because you know the lovers, the card of the lovers.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
Traditionally, you have male, female, and the angel. Yeah. And then you have the card of Marseille. There you will have two females, and you also have that in the Gypsy Tarot. This is a modern version of the Gypsy Tarot. I couldn't find the old ones. But there you have also two women. And I think it's the ovulating and the menstruating woman, which is like Kali and Parvati, which is one and the same.
If I can just jump in. What I see for when you see two women and a man, that's the 011 of the way emanation works, what people call creationism. 0 is the absolute, it's the ether, it's the black, it's the yin. Then the other two will be the yin and the yang. So when the female energy to me is the mother, and that's to me is the God. I don't like using God because the glyph of God is magnetism, G-O-D. So when I see those three, I see the Trinity. So yes, there's two women. There is the mother of love, and then the image of her, which would be the yin, and then the man, which would be the white. So you got the absolute, the yin and the yang being the male.
Yeah.
That's what I see when I see that. I just telling you what comes to my mind when I see that. I've not seen that card before.
Okay, yeah. No, it is a very unusual card, and when you look at the Marseille cards, you will see that as well. It's the only one actually that's an old one that has that as well, and I think it's quite an interesting point because you do not have that in the other decks, but it reveals actually quite a lot when you look at it, and as well they also have the devil with breasts, so it's probably androgyne, as you can see here, but again you have the symbol of Mercury, which is Hermes, which is Thoth as well. You know, it's one and the same, which is the messenger. So yeah, either you're bound by the by your addictions and your possessions and your own thought creations. That is your enslavement finally.
Right, which is our yang. That is the white light of manifestation, right? 100%. In metaphysics, it teaches you that.
Right.
See, metaphysics equals physics. Magnetism is both metaphysics and physics. It has both, right? And it's that dance of the yin yang.
Yeah.
And that's
Totally.
right.
Totally.
Right. So the black, again, the black is the absolute, and that is the image, and we are leashed to, so there is no way we could ever get out of control because we are in a leash.
Yeah, exactly. But we created ourselves. But I have another point of view on the mess that we are in now. I think, first of all, I think that the people in power, they have lost the plot already centuries ago. But I think there's always a similar, more or less the same number of people on the plane, and you keep on reincarnating. In the past, our ancestors, they knew very well about reincarnation and the ascension of the soul and all that, and that's completely lost to, say, the Western world. And I think that has to do with also the mess we are in, and because if you do not understand karma and reincarnation, and you just are trapped in that mindset of survival of the fittest, then you're lost, basically. You've lost the plot. And
right, and
next
that's what's
life
called
will be harder.
it's called agnosis, not knowing. Look at the word nos meaning know, knowledge, wisdom. So when you're in gnosis, you know about infinite rebirths with karmic attachments, right?
Yeah.
And so the way it's explained in metaphysics is that when we pass, we're amongst dark, no light, light.
Yeah.
And if we follow that light, then we have no knowledge of what we talk about, and you will come back and be reborn if you follow the light. And that's why people get Satan confused with the light.
Yeah,
It's the Ouroboros, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to study the Book of Death again, for the Tibetan and the Egyptian Book of Death again, to actually know the path. Let me first jump here. Let's go here, the 5 elements, because that is also the principle of yin and yang. This is the 5 elements of the Orient. I wanted to talk about that. Actually, I promised that the last time, because I think now, especially, we are all having to go inward. Let's go first to the eclipses then. We have got 13 eclipses. I'll go to the slideshow. Oops. And then I will see the pages better.
May I just offer something again while you're doing that,
Yeah.
please? You mentioned with Claudio just then, this wasn't a statement. This was the modality of the sciences and the alchemy that's at hand. So we have a mental construct. You sound like a sister that will already know about the halls of a mente, and all is meant, mind, all is mind, all is we'll stick to basics. The universe and the effects and the action, reaction, positive, negative, male, female, all is vibration and mentalism and ment. We found the word ment, and the Latin of what ment is mind. In the law, in the language of because I come from the non-academic self scholar masters guild I've created with law and real law, natural law, positive law, magnets, copper, Tesla, Dollard, all these kind of Ken Wheeler will, so I don't say him ever, I'll put him in because he's always said, and other things. So we have this ment, and we have the Buddha, and we have the Eastern philosophy of which you've touched upon, and we have the Western philosophy. Reincarnations come into that. But what I want to go to is the words that you said there were slavery of the mind. We can be easily enslaved under this dome in the realm, and we can look at the reality, Einstein relativity, and reality is an illusion. It looks like there's a masking of the realm, a true perception that we don't have. We see through the spectrum of the rainbow, the light spectrum, frequency, standing waves, non-linear and stuff we're aware of. We cannot see the gamma ray, X-ray. We cannot see like the what is it now, violets and ultra. We see the 7 spectrums of the rainbow in our environment, and what we see, it works out on a disc. If you draw a circle and you make a pie chart, we can see 5% of all of reality that's there. The antimatter, the other matters, the 3 stages of the matter there: dark matter, light matter, and antimatter. They put it down in this study that I've seen. So you can either, as Bob Marley says, only yourselves can free your mind from mental slavery. And if you have the gnosis, sister and brother, if you have this, Karen, you've done it again. You are a legend. If you have the gnosis and you can connect up with the right minds, guess what the ments will do? You'll go from the basement to the top. Penthouse ascension is happening now. So I'll leave it at that. You can be easily enslaved and programmed, and you can also break the chain if you see and you hear by a little effort. And when you break, you can fly free. So I'll yield that just to say that, you know, thank you.
Great. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. No, you said the Book of Enoch, that is definitely a key factor in the medieval astrology to understand the mechanism of it all. Definitely. And that's beautiful how PV Angel has been putting that together visually. Absolutely brilliant as well. I see that I've put them upside down, but it doesn't matter because they're too small there to see. Anyway, okay, so here we can see I made a few charts, and I'm starting here at the solar total eclipse of July 2nd last year. And there you can see that Saturn is conjunct the South Node. So there we get the first touch or something like, oops, something is happening. I can't really remember what happened then. Maybe it was the whole YouTube censoring thing started happening.
What's the date? Can you give us a date reference?
No,
and then we'll
the 2nd of July. 2nd of July, that was the total solar eclipse last year.
Thank you.
And then here is an image of where the eclipse was taking place. Wait,
Forest fires, Australia fires. I'm thinking natural disaster, fam. What went off July last year? Immense burning, temperature control, heating up.
okay.
That's all I'm thinking. While you're, you know, just
Yeah, it
trying
would
to
be
help.
nice to keep these dates if things come up around those times. That's why I thought, okay, let's focus on the eclipses and see what is happening. And
what brother is good at? Is it Claudio? Can look at the natural disasters, and he was managing to. Was it you, Claudio? Was that somebody else?
No, that was me. Yep.
Yeah,
My phone pattern.
yep. Yeah, go on. Does she know about this? Can you expand?
I'll let her finish first, and then we can talk more. Absolutely,
Yeah.
this is all awesome.
Yeah, and you know the thing with eclipses is also that during an eclipse you should go indoors. You should not go out. You know, the whole nature goes quiet. The years that I was living in India, everybody stays indoors with any kind of eclipse, how minor eclipse it is. And I think that is very interesting. There's years ago, that's really several decades ago, there's an astrologer who did tests with beans. She planted 2 weeks prior to a full solar eclipse every day a bean, and 2 weeks after the eclipse every day a bean, to see what would come up. And she filmed it, or she made photos. It is a whole documentary, and you can see that the beans towards the eclipse, they don't really sprout well, and the bean during the eclipse did not sprout at all. And then further away from the eclipse, then the bean would sprout and become a plant. So that's very interesting to know how it works. So it's not a good time during an eclipse to start something. It's time to go within. I think that's a very important thing that people do not not really know, because people like to go out partying during an eclipse. And yeah, you know,
May I just offer them
on your personal path, I guess. Yeah.
What if somebody was conceived or born then during an eclipse? What's your viewpoint on that, on conception? Or, you know, just imagine if there was somebody, would that make a difference, do you
Yeah,
think? Or
absolutely.
star charts and, you know, the astrotheological readings of the life path for that soul?
Yeah, you can see it in different ways. Huh? I don't know. I have never seen anyone that has been born on during an eclipse, but I would guess physically would be not strong, but mentally might be incredibly enlightened.
A werewolf. Sorry.
Yeah, because the one compensates for the other.
The werewolf theory is the full moon aspect, is it not? Where you are the full moon and transformation of. So what you've just said is, I'm sorry, it's random and I'm keep interrupting, but
Oh, no.
that just makes, yeah, I'm adding just.
Where is the wolf? Where is the wolf? Where is he?
Sorry?
I said, where is the wolf?
Where's the wolf?
Right, wolf in sheep's clothing. Right, right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe grandmother ate him. No, I don't know. Oh yeah, I was explaining the Jupiter effect. Let me tell you that little story. Because Jupiter is the great benefic. He's very. It's very nice if he is good positioned, and at the moment Jupiter is nowhere. But anyway, when you have a good transit of Jupiter going, and you tend to get lazy because things are moving all very smooth. And then there's this little joke from this man that is on a ship, and this ship is sinking, and then he's holding on to the railing and he's calling out to God, "Oh God, please help me, don't let me drown, don't let me drown." And he sees a ship on the horizon, but okay, the ship is gone. And "Oh God, please don't let me don't let me drown." And another ship passes by, and then the ship sinks. And then he comes in front of God and he says, "God, I prayed for you." And God says, "Yeah, but I sent you 2 ships." Now that's a typical Jupiter thing. You know, your things are being handed to you, but you do not realize that that is the right moment to take action, to go and make a move with it. So you can do all sorts of predictions, but if you're not taking the action, you know, then that moment is gone. Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I was
Sorry.
as I'm listening. I lost my screen because I was looking for something else to talk about to enforce what you're saying, which is beautiful. So yes, you're 100% right. When there's transits, those transits to me mean a gate is open.
Yeah.
And especially if they're in line with your chart.
Absolutely.
That's like your fiber optic, man, to you personally. And they will listen to you, they will give you guidance, and you will get them.
Yeah.
I've told the team before, like when a hawk comes by, which screams right near me, that means you're going to receive message from spirit. And then I do that day, and they're crazy invigorating. So yeah, I 100% agree with you, sister.
Great. Yeah. No, it's great. You know, you can just be apathic and things are just passing by, and then okay, next life. You know, yeah. Okay, then we have because eclipses always come into pairs. Huh? You have first the solar eclipse and then the lunar, or first the lunar and then the solar eclipse, but they always come together. So then we had the 16th of July, the lunar eclipse. There, the moon has joined already Saturn and the south node. We're still in a bit of a comfort zone with Venus being in Cancer. So there's not really much that we feel threatened yet. So it's still okay. We're adjusting to whatever is happening. There's, yeah. I'm just gonna go quick over here. So we had Saturn entering on December the 21st of 2017. That is when Saturn entered Capricorn, according to the tropical chart. Yeah.
I was going to say you're using tropical.
Yeah.
Eh? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Then on 18 April 2018, Saturn went retrograde up to from 9 degrees Capricorn to 2 degrees Capricorn, and going direct on the 6th of September 2018. So I just put these dates here, so maybe someone likes to check that out, because I guess that Saturn being in Capricorn, its own rulership, feeling very comfortable where it is, stirring up a whole lot of stuff, because he's it is the greater malefic, so it is can also be quite nasty. But you know, he wants to have the reality. It's like a reality check. Then going direct again on 13 degrees Capricorn on 17 September 2019. That was just before the next solar eclipse, I guess. Then this was the 16th. Do you have that? Yeah, Capricorn. It's also death and rebirth, new beginnings. It is, they say also Capricorn is the entrance of life, or that culture started during the Capricornian age. But I don't know how many times ago. Then you can actually check with the Mayan calendar, because every time Baktun is like similar as a 2000 and some years on the greater solar cycle. So the opposite of that is Cancer, and that is where the North Node is, or yeah, I never know from Rahu and Ketu who is who, so I prefer to use the dragon head and the dragon tail, or the northern and the southern moon nodes. Now they have to do with your karma, your entrance and your exit, your direction, where you go. So what we're looking now at with the eclipses, I like to look at it more in a mundane, on a mundane scale, because we're all in it. And so the direction we need to go, that is that Cancerian, that caring for each other. When you take the tarot deck cards, that is the Chariot, that is Cancer, and Capricorn, that is the Devil. So you have again that entrapment, and that chart of the eclipse on the in December last year. That's what I told, where this whole stellium of planets were, that, you know, around the south node, that is where we actually come from and have to get rid of, or we need to get to the other side somehow. And that's very difficult, because it has to do with accepting failure. And that is what you see, you know. The system didn't work, it will break down. Now the Chariot is not a chariot that will move. It's I think the next one has the rider weight. Yeah.
Can I just jump in for a sec?
Sorry?
Can I just jump in for
Yeah.
a sec? Because you were saying that Capricorn is the devil.
No, that is the devil card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd meant that, because
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I meant the number 15, the card of the tarot deck, is Capricorn.
Yeah, because like people think Baphomet's the devil, but Baphomet's not the devil.
No,
Yeah.
and devil, if you turn it around, it's lived.
It's lived. Yeah, I know, lived, and evil is lived. Yeah, I understand. Okay, I was just trying to understand what you're saying, because
yeah, no, you can also say devil, the devil that turns.
Mhm.
The devil
Again, yeah.
that
See,
is
I'm either starts with alpha, beta, and my circle see my on how the alphabet fits on there. 100 is a language.
yeah. Oh yeah, sound. Sound is
Family,
vibration.
I just need to let you know I'm getting updates on my media devices. Just to stop everything. If you're in England and or Britain, I've just got 7 messages in the last 10 minutes. UK power outages may be happening as we speak. So they're saying this is not live for those that are listening back. I'll let Sister Moon take over if she needs to, but I'm just letting you know. It's March the 31st today, and yeah, I've just got UK power may go out because of lack of resources, staff, demand, grids, power. London, especially, they're saying in areas of you know, high density and drain. But I'd just like to say that we was told a month or so ago that there may be banks, telephones, internet and things. Sister and I, Button Moon, were chatting previously, and it looks like it may be something's going off in Britain now, and I've just been distracted for 10 minutes there. I'm back, and I thought I was duly obligated to let you know.
Well, thanks for that update. Eh?
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
You can charge it up. Okay. So it'd be an idea, or even if it's on a replay, if you still got power and it may go out and
What Claudio reckons about April the 1st?
Well, I actually I have predictions
Blackouts
for,
for 10 days.
I have predictions
Really hope
for
not.
today of some major weather breaking. So I'm saying it's going to be hurricanes, and I can get into that later.
Is that
I'm
all
sorry,
to do with the
not hurricane.
meteorites or to do?
Sorry, not hurricane, sorry, earthquake.
I did specify the date then on
Earthquake.
particular because I'm aware of the April forewarning that we've had for what may be happening. So I thought it's the day before, isn't it? And we're already just live. If you search on the internet now, fam, you'll find the reports for the UK and stories that the scribes. Thank you all that have got in touch as well. And I didn't mean to distract from the flow, but yeah, I'm going to charge a few bits, so I'll be 2 seconds.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay, let me just
all joyous things.
continue here, because this is actually very meditative card, or the feel of Cancer. You know, we have to go inward. This chariot is a block of stone, so it can't move. So the only way you can move is inward, and that's I think that's a good message for now. We can't move anyway. Now the quintessence card of the devil is the Lovers, and the Chariot is the quintessence card of the Tower. So I like to look at these things, you know, and when important things are happening, like an eclipse that is so powerful, all these eclipses that now are happening around this Capricorn and Cancer. I think we have to look at these things as well, because if this is the other side of the Chariot, so if you do not go within and understand that your light vehicle or your Merkaba is the one that can move you, but you hold on to your matter, it will all break down. Also, the king will fall down. It's the tower that will destroy everything. Oh yeah, this one we had. Yeah, and then this is a very interesting deck as well. Only there is something with the outer planets, and this is a different way of looking at the Tree of Life than the modern edition of the tradition of the Tree of Life, because here you see Pluto in the middle, but I have Saturn in the middle, which goes as well with, this is from Rufus Kampenhuizen, and that has been acknowledged by some rabbi. I couldn't find the information anymore. I had a copy of this, and the book has burned with the whole library that burned away, unfortunately. And Rufus Kampenhuizen has also passed away, but he is the designer of that Tree of Life tarot deck, which is quite interesting, and it takes away all the frills of interpretations, images. So you get only the pathways. This is the traditional way, so I would not see the outer planets with that. And then you have Saturn as the abyss, which makes more sense to me. This might be a little bit too much. I'm just going to go through this because it is, I think, a little bit too much. Anyway, this is the pathways of the tarot. Each of the pathways is one of the cards. The High Priestess is the middle one, and she has Jacob and Boaz on either side. So yeah, that's the High Priestess. And here you have the pillars, but she is the spine, the pillar, the seemingly oppositions, because the one doesn't exist without the other, the yin and the yang. It's exactly that. And here she has the Torah, which is the mirror of the tarot. Tarot, Torah, Rota, it's all in the same. So that's the book of knowledge, it's hidden. So if you take the outer planets away, that would be the Fool, that is this pathway, the Magician, the Priestess, and the Empress. There are the basic foundation anyway of the whole numerology. If you would take sacred geometry, and only after Saturn you get that what is the physical construction. And there's another one with the I Ching. Okay, now this is when you go in meditation, you go inward, you feel, once you understand the whole construct, you can actually connect your whole body with it, and you can expand your body. There's on the 4th of April, I've seen it passing by, so from different angles. There's going to be a worldwide meditation. Now, I don't know if there's a guided meditation that gives some sort of prescription, this is what we're going to do. I think everybody should know from themselves who meditates, how to meditate. And I think it is very, very powerful if that is possible, if you get more than 1 million people meditating on the 4th of April. And I think that is that can shift a lot. And intent is important. Here we have Thoth. This is also from the Book of Thoth. Here we have the dragon, the nose. This is an old device on how to calculate the nodes. Now, the calculation of the eclipses is a complete new field for me. So I have no idea how they were calculating that. But with this thing from 1540, if it isn't older, they were able to measure when the eclipses would occur. And then I found another table as well from the 17th century, and then this one is from 19th century. Also the pathway of how to calculate the eclipses, and also where then the dragon tail and the dragon head would be. Okay, that is those. This is the chart that I've been talking about, where I said everybody is clinging to matter, their old structure, but it will all fall. I didn't mention Mars, who is important. Mars is the activator. The moon first has to go over. The moon goes every month through the whole zodiac, so in 28 days all the way around. And Mars takes 2 years to go around. But when Mars touches all these, it gets activated. And this is the appulse or annular moon. Someone filmed that. It was that one from the 26th of December. This is where the pathway was. 26th December, here's Mars. On the 10th of January, we had the other eclipse, the lunar eclipse. This is the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. Still all close by, but Mars is coming in there. And then you can actually, someone photographed the annular eclipse of the moon 10 January this year. Okay, that is this one. Right, sorry, I lost my train up. This is very interesting. I don't know if you have seen that little footage from Mikey Smith, where he filmed Mars through the moon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, except the only thing is that so far nobody's been able to watch it transit. It's so close to the moon that it's hard to make anybody believe it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I believe or disbelieve it, because I see all the ancient pics and it shows, you know, where there's an image of something going through the moon. And of course it can, because that's why Eris, the Madonna, makes a sunspot, right? And I've gone back through the years, through NASA's whatever, SOHO, whatever they use to measure the sunspots, and Eris is there almost every single year around Easter, as far back as I've gone, which is about 4, 5, 6 years. So 100%, I believe that you can see stars through the moon, because they're luminous, they're not rocks.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was absolutely blown away by that. It's very clear. So let me show you what happened. Okay, this is from my location then, Amsterdam. So it is a different time than when he filmed it, because he's somewhere else. Now, when this conjunction happened, that was a few hours after Mercury went retrograde. That's also quite interesting. Now, Mercury being in Pisces at the moment, that was also like, it makes things very wishy-washy if something is real or not. It's very difficult to distinguish the reality at the moment. And I think that is what they're using, you know, as well, with this big scheme that's happening in the media. So what I did, I checked the conjunction on that other program. I just took a snapshot of it. Well, you can clearly see that it is Mars, because I know what Mars looks like when you can see it, and it is not a speck of the moon itself. It's very, very clear. So I highly recommend people to watch this. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah. I've seen it. Like I said, it'd be nice if he had his camera on the whole time, watching it an inch away, you know, a quarter inch away, half an inch away, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would have been nice watching it transit towards it, but somebody will get it eventually.
Well, the thing is that this was an absolute amazing moment, because it's not always that when the moon transits Mars, that they're in line like that. Usually Mars is a little bit higher or a little bit lower, you know, it's not really on the same line.
Right, and
So
it's really easy to watch now. I watch for stars and any planets that are on the same declination as the moon, so it's easy to forewarn people. When I saw that coming, by the time I could get it out was only like a day or 2 days before, and by the time I told everybody missed it. They didn't see the message that I had. So.
Oh, pity. Yeah, because you know you got to catch that moment, because it's a rare, very rare moment. So what I did was I went to this other program that is this one, the how do you call it again, the Stellarium. So what I did, you can see with this program what is out there. So when you look out in the sky and you see a star or a planet and you don't know which one it is and you want to know which one it is. Oh, I forgot to click, sorry. If you don't know which one it is, you can open this program and it shows you immediately the sky exactly as you see it. If the sun isn't there, of course, in the evening. So I checked straight away on this program. I put the time in, the date in, and so taking the sun away, and then also the Earth, because it's further away. I can't see the moon from where I am. So now I needed to get a bit of coordination. Yeah, here I put the constellations in so I can see where I am. Okay, there's the moon and Mars. And as you can see, this is how it appears in the sky. So this is absolutely mind-blowing. There you can see Mars is behind the moon. But what we saw on Mikey's film, what was really happening, is that you can see Mars already here. And not when it is appearing to pass by a disk. There is no disk.
Yeah, we agree with you, sister. We agree with you.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely fascinating. And then I saw again something really interesting. Oh, what's he doing now? Let me see. No. I need to go to the next one. Yeah, this one. So here you see Corona Australis. I think, oh nee toch, no way. It's close to Corona Australis. Right, I didn't even know that Corona Australis was existing. I know Corona Borealis. I'm not really familiar with all the constellations, you know. So, but I thought, yeah, right. Isn't that really something? I thought it was fascinating.
Discovery, isn't discovery a wonderful thing?
Yeah, and now with all these tools, we can just really check, and all the P90s and 900s and whatever, you know, brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's. I should shorten this one. I still find it quite difficult to work with this program, but it's nice. It's just a free. You can just download it for free and play around with it. And you can also check in time in ahead when something like this would occur, you know, if another planet or star would be conjunct the moon. So yeah, I think that's quite interesting. So then we
I can just,
yeah, sorry?
Can you see that?
What?
Hang on, it's on his thing. It's on his page. Hang on. I'll put it up. Right, it should come up now any second.
I'm not sure if you're able to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so see
No, it doesn't.
to look for eclipses, and alignments like that, right? Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, I thought I heard somebody trying to talk. So yeah, so we're creating this app and it will be for free. It's really, really simple. You can watch everything happening really good as they transit from the Capricorn, from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Tropic of Cancer. So I got to do it manually right now in Photoshop. I just got the code, but it's still a semi-automatic thing. But then we're now working with somebody that's trying to get us all the data, like all these astrology apps they use, so we can go grab it off of NASA's JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory Epipheramous page. It's called JPL Horizons. So we're making this map so people can use exactly what's in the sky, something that's really easy. You can teach a kid. You can see how everything works. You've seen some of those, just the sun and moon going around. Now we're going to have all the planets, all the asteroids, so that you can very easily see. The alignments are different when it's around the circle than when they are placed properly on the flat plane between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, because they all do an analemma through there with their retrogrades. So it's really important if you want to predict any sorts of alignment, including eclipses. So I just wanted to share that with you. That was just timely. Thank you.
Oh, thanks,
Very
Claudio.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah, great. I love it the way you have the put it around the flat Earth.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you can share I don't know how you share back. Do you want me to just I'll hit stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm sharing again. Oops. Let me see there. That's where I was.
Yeah, you can see me now.
Yeah. I'm going back here somewhere. Oops. Because I was at the activation time, I guess. No, further here. Yes, this one. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, here we see that this 22nd of March, Saturn entered Aquarius, and we still have that. I don't know why I put that. And then the 30th of March, so Mars has transited all over these planets that were there in the first place, and it's almost like clockwork that everybody got shut down. All countries closed down, one after the other. And that is what I think that that happened. I think that Mars was the activator of that whole episode. I don't know how you would look at that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I just have to share truth with
Yeah.
everything that's happening right now is jumping over the river of heaven, and tropical is missing that. They're showing Earth is 23 degrees. So if you use tropical, you'll never see a pattern of 130 with a 40 or 42 Aries. So if you use tropical, you won't see that. You won't see it at all. 100%. So tropical
yeah,
is.
no, I do understand.
Yeah. So I mean, so what happens is, and I mean it's all more respect. We're trying to when you use tropical, you try to find the reasons why, and then you'll see that it's jumping all over. But it's very, very quite clear when you use what's in the sky, right? What's in the sky is in the sky. Like my first learned that is when I was trying to learn astrology, because the moon showed me every I got woken up and there was I had to get back to learning about the zodiac, and I ended up finding Santos. So So when I started learning, though, this one girl told me, well, today the moon is in Libra. I go outside, grab my stargazing app and said, no, it's in Virgo. And I went back aside. I said, I looked, is this star app wrong? It says that it's in Virgo. She goes, oh, now you're looking at the sky. Well, the Vatican stopped, as we all know, because those guys are all profit mongers. And JP Morgan's quote is, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
Yeah.
So nobody will be able to predict the market using tropical. You have to know sidereal. So I was able to predict 2 years ago that this market was going to crash this year. because everything was happening over the river of heaven. This was a complete, and then Eris coming in starting from June last year. She started coming into our heads, and we started seeing it. And then I have the whole prediction of what's happening with people's minds and in images coming throughout this year. So tropical doesn't show it. It just doesn't. I mean, right now, the Pluto-Saturn conjunction was on the river of heaven, the Milky Way, the galactic center, the dielectric inertial plane of the magnet, of this, the magnetic field that we're in. So tropical misses that. It misses all the events. It misses all the old plagues that I've went through. There's no real alignments. There's no real alignments on the cusp of. See, when we're on the cusp, we're changing a whole age. And when Eris goes through there and Pluto regeneration, Eris, the mother, Santa Claus, coming to check into your mind. Oh yeah, and then he just plucks you and come back for an infinite rebirth, right?
Right. Yeah, no, it does make sense. But if I do a chart, if I make charts in the sidereal, they do not make sense to me. But when you explain this, it does make sense. Yeah, I'm here. I've only been taking the eclipses to see what is happening, and nothing is really happening right on the dot. It always takes time before things get activated.
Right, because the asteroids are in play, and when you watch them and you animate them, so I bought that astral gold to animate them. You watch how they communicate with each other. The moon being the fastest, and of course you know the speeds of them. I don't have to tell you that. And when you start watching the handshakes, it's invigorating. It's like a football team, and you don't see it unless you have the asteroids on. I'm able to predict people's cleanses now. Now I've done 3, 4. Let me rephrase that. I've done about 12 different cleanses for people, including ourselves, knowing when they start, when they end, and peaks. All right, that's Hygeia. Hygeia is the glyph of the caduceus. She is the glyph of Neptune. So those are energetic. So every one of them play a part. So right. So
and
now
they're more esoteric. It's also much more esoteric astrology. Using the asteroids. So it's a different approach.
right. Okay. So I looked up.
I'm still looking into the whole sidereal. I mean, I'm still fascinated by it.
Right.
And,
I
cannot find the way why it works both ways.
I can explain it. See, what happens is every 72 years we go off by 1 degree, right? By the precession of the ages. We know there's a 26,000 plus year cycle, 2,160. I can't remember the exact name, but that all happens, right? The precession of the ages. So what happens is back then on a reset in the dark ages, the asteroids don't have that much play, let alone that they even use them, right? And then they come more predominant as the years go by. Since Ptolemy's time, and I believe it's the meridian of Alexandria, then moving to the meridian of Greenwich. All those things play a factor on how powerful they are. So now that we've come into Aquarius, they play a much bigger factor. So every 72 years, every one lifetime since the clock was reset in the Dark Ages, the tropical worked. And every age, everybody just keeps what they had from the last 72 years. So it kind of works, but more and more it's separating away and it won't work.
Yeah. Well, I see it.
That was too strong. I'm not saying it won't work. It
understand.
It lacks. Yeah. So I just want to explain that. I just did the chart for the captain of the police department, Detroit. Okay. Because a buddy of mine there, he says, I'm glad this guy's gone. He was a MF, right? So I went and looked in the obituaries. I got his birth date. I did his chart. He has Hygeia lined up with his natal Hygeia exactly, and Sarah's in Saturn, very dominant in this chart. He died of coronavirus, they said. Well, that's one doesn't make an average, but with all the other cleanses I've been doing with the astrology, 100%. 100% to me, I could see that it was his time to go. And because of his nature, he was plucked. And you're going to find nobody's exempt from this because the aether is in every atom. The ether's in all parts of your body, right? So you can't hide from it. You can't wrap yourself with tinfoil, gold, go hide in the mountain, go hide in a cave like these rich people think they can do. So it's very important that you know that Hygeia is very, very active right now. And I have to say this to everybody because she's going to be going into Gemini on May 24th. Gemini is the lungs. So 100%, if you have issues with your lung and you have Hygeia and or Mars or whatever in your Gemini, you need to be concerned with cleansing before that cleanse comes for you. So
may I just say that I'm seeing a lot of female energies in the stars and in the tails here. For once, there's a presence, Lilith, Adam's sister, that was not willing to be subservient to a man, banished from, promised to be the ruler of the underworld, we'll say, as opposed to hell. And then Eve comes along, is created, sorry, not comes along, and then you know, the story there. We touched upon Lilith in the heavens as well. Interesting, female energies having power above in the stars, but female energies after the Nubian, we'll say, era where they had female Cleopatra and Nefertiti and many female deities, Greece, also Aphrodite, female, you know, female energies in godlike form, celestial luminaries, but down on the realm where the devil is in the details and we're living in this illusion, we have male domination over Gaia. And I just want to just put that in. I yield. I'm loving this.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, no, I'm working on a little documentary to get her story out as well. You know, the lost feminine energies that needs to be replaced. Like, for instance, we're living in this patriarchal world, and we learn that Achilles is the hero who killed the last Amazon queen, and then we learn that Amazons were like men killing, castrating wild women, but there weren't. There were healers, there were the wise ones. And yeah, logically, when you get killed and raped and sold as whatever, slaves, that they start rebelling. So, you know, in the time of a matriarch, it's very different. I've traveled a lot. I've lived in Africa as well, South Africa, and I've been several times there to the homelands, and I've met Mujachi, the Rain Queen, who's passed away. But incredible, the culture is just so vast. But yeah, she was the last one. Her granddaughter was assassinated before she was turned into her follower. She had 33 wives because she was higher than any king in Africa. And a whole different way of life, you know, in a matriarchal society. Everybody is being looked after. Men are happy. And yeah, if anyone has a problem, it is everybody's problem. They will sort it out together. Their human values is much more important. Also, there what I thought was really, really interesting is the way you've been brought up as a child. When a child wakes up in the morning, first thing the mother would ask is, "What did you dream last night?" Well, in the West, the civilized or domesticated world, when a child wakes up, is, "Have you done your homework yet?" You know, it's your mind gets a complete different flip. So instead of learning to capture your dreams and remember your dreams and be able to tell them, they're completely cut off. So yeah, I think that's
right,
very, very interesting, different worldviews as well. So yeah,
right, because they're supposed to be doing their OM work, OM work,
OM work. Yeah, right. That sounds much better. But yeah, I think it's time for a matriarchal period, definitely, and not some woman who are putting on pants and try to survive in a man's world. That has nothing to do with that. This is what I thought was also quite interesting. when you take the rulerships, and especially with flip of Saturn from Capricorn into Aquarius, or yeah, you would not see it that way because of the sidereal. But then I will take again the archetype of the cosmos in account, where the whole thing has flipped, and then not seeing the signs as being the signs, but more as facets of elements and modes, because you have 4 elements and 3 modes, which is the 12 the 12 divisions of the zodiac, and the constellations, they can change. So that it is a different approach of looking at the wheels of the cosmos. But if you take this, the rulership, if this is the archetype, you have Aries as the first point, and then the moon rules Cancer, the sun rules Leo, and then you have all the other planets ruling 2 signs, and then Saturn rules these 2. And when you flip it around, you get the signs of the chakras. Now you have also, again, a different picture of the chakras connecting to the planets, and then you will see Neptune and Uranus and whatever. And I think, yeah, right, I'm not so sure if they really exist because of the time span that they travel, and I haven't seen them myself. But I think that
I'm with you there, sister, because told me, and then you see people trying to fit in Saturn, Pluto, and Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. So yeah, that I'm still stuck on that one. Which one is the right one to use? So I like you said, I use the classical modern one up to Saturn.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the classical one, and then just see how things fit.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes much more sense, and I will definitely have a look at the asteroids. I think it's quite fascinating. I want to see how they fit into the into the tropical. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, you need to look at sidereal to watch how this whole event is happening over the river of heaven. So that's the pole shift they're talking about. It's a shift of consciousness. If you don't, you'll show Eris at 23 degrees Aries, and it won't make any sense. But when you put it to sidereal, which is actually happening in the sky, like you won't even know that right now, April the 13th, that Eris is going to be, the sun is going to be transiting Eris right on Easter in the beginning of Aries. In the beginning of Aries, which is this Lent that's happening right now, is the one that we've been celebrating all along. Those are just reminders for this event that was coming today. If you use tropical, you would not know we were getting to this quaranta, this quarantine. Quaranta means 40 in Italian and Latin. So if you use tropical, you never would have seen this event happening, right?
I will look at them both, because the program I'm using, I can put in any time.
Right. I'm saying to you that if you use tropical, the sun will transit Eris in 23 degrees Aries, and it will make no sense that we're doing this forced by the angels. By the way, the angels are driving this. This is a forced Lent, a forced fasting, spiritual fasting. It's now a spiritual war because everybody's being locked down in their house. So instead of going and shoot each other and kill each other like in the Dark Ages, we're now combating on the field called the internet, right? So the spirits are protecting us, keeping us at peace, because this is the age of Aquarius, and we're being baptized, and we're being baptized in the most civil way possible. And the luminaries are guiding this 100%. And that can only fit with sun transiting Eris at the beginning of Aries 0 degree. It's there like within 1-2 degree, not even less than a degree. So it doesn't fit any other way. So I have to be strong in that position because I can see it, can feel it. I've been directed to it. I've been guided to it, right? With all these luminaries I get woken up by, and insects, everybody's, I mean, it's crazy the way it's coming to me, and it's all lining up.
Maybe you're just totally in touch with the world, Claudio.
Yeah, I'm sorry. for being strong on this point. It's just that it's if I shine a light 23 degrees away from your eyes, you will not squint. If I shine that light directly into your eyes, you will squint. So how can it be that a light from a different constellation is affecting you when it's not even in front of you? You get what I'm saying, sister?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just trying to open your eyes to what I see, and I think you're going to be invigorated when you get there. I really am.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to look into it. I'm fascinated with it. I like it. I really like it.
Awesome. Thank you. And it's not me, okay? It's everybody. I'm just sharing everything that I've pulled together.
Yeah, no, it's important, you know, sharing knowledge is because I'm
learning from you too, sister. Trust me. We just got to tweak this stuff. Yes.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, I've met Credo Mutwa as well several times, and one time I was in a discussion with him, and he said to me, you know, knowledge is a strange thing, but we need to share it, and that was just exactly what is the most important thing that we are doing. You know, and
may I just whoa, stop everything. You've just said a massive name there that maybe we need to just reiterate. Did we all just hear what name Marilyn just said who she's met there from Africa? Credo Mutwa. You said, yeah. Oh, I bow, I doff my cap. This I know of him, African tribal gnosis coming out of his orifices. He's also made reference to a brother by the name of Michael, the Tellinger clan, and he didn't speak highly of this Michael. I'm not here to cause a rift, but we got Africa and we've got Michael and his gnosis and beliefs and these power systems and the ancient circles and energies and ley lines. And Michael has been with, let me think, various, outlets. And then we have Mr. David of the Ike clan on YouTube. If you search for it, scribes, I'll drop the link when we're premiering. I'll put some of these links in, but may I just say that I am aware of Credo Mutwa, and again I bow to that. I picked that up, and that's massive. That for me, I've been to the Bosnian pyramid and I high-fived Dr. Sam of the Osmanovic clan, and I went in the pyramids of the Viseko hill and I energized with the ions. So that's I recognize certain workers that are belittled, and wow, Credo, fantastic. Sorry, and I bow.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was great as well. And to tell you a little bit, I even had the privilege to play with a soloist from Senegal. I used to be in a band playing djembe, and I would always be the fast offbeat, just tied next to the soloist. And the soloist and I, we were doing the opening drumming for Credo when he came in public again, speaking after 13 years. So that was something. I'm so blessed that I was able to do that.
So I want to make sure I got the right guy. Credo is Credo and Mutwa, Mutwa.
Yes, he was a Sanusi Sangoma.
Get ready. Okay, absolutely amazing. Sorry, go on, Claudio.
No, that's okay, brother. This is informal, man. It's awesome. I didn't understand that last. He's a what? I'm sorry.
A Sanusi Sangoma. That is the highest Sangoma state you can be, just like an enlightened Sangoma. I guess Sangoma is a medicine doctor.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he a Platonist? Is he a nomad? Is he Buddhist? What is he? Anything like what are they? What type? Is there any followings that he do? I'll look him up. Don't worry. I won't waste time. I'll look him up.
He passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and when I met him, he was in hiding actually for quite a long time, and he had a bodyguard because the one who wrote all these books and does all these massive world tours on, you know who I mean, I guess, had stolen actually a lot of his information, and later he came to Africa. I guess that was then to actually give credit to him, to Credo Mutwa. But before that, he was protected because his information had been taken and he was not being credited for it. And yeah, he had been in hiding for many years after his wife died. I mean, he had quite some heavy stories as well. But it was amazing to meet him several times. Yeah.
Marilyn, may I ask, are you aware of the Dogon tribe?
Yes.
Africa. Oh, wow, I knew you would be. And also, I'll just leave it there. All right, thank you.
Oh, and that is actually quite some interesting point that you make there, Dogon, because I have a suggestion. If we would like to find a date that we could start our year, I would adopt the Mayan calendar with the day out of time, because the 26th or 27th, wait, let me just get it here. That is the day that Sirius is visible again in the morning before the sun comes up. That is where the Mayans start their year. So I think, you know, that makes much more sense. And they have the 13 moons.
Yes, yes.
100%,
You've got the calendar.
100%.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and it, you know, it fits. It makes much more sense. So that the first day of the year would start on the 26th of July.
Those calendars are a particular interest to me. All of the Meso-America, Olmec, Aztecs, Incas, and you know, the four main ones there that we've seen here with the Mayan as well. Added to that for number 4, the Cirrus, the Dogon, Star Dog is my favorite brand at the minute. Star Dog, Dog Star, Cirrus with the 2 A and B, Dogon backwards, no God, and then you have the cannabis dog, planned canna, Spanish canine, canna canine, and the connection of the dog father, Godfather, Italy, Vatican. Amazing subject in itself, and we've covered that. And I've one more question for your sister before our other sister says we've been on 2 hours and it's time to have a look at wrapping up. I'm going to ask, I'm getting good, sister, aren't I? Yeah. I'm going to ask, are you aware, Marilyn, of the December the 21st of the 12th, 2020 relevance to the planetary alignments of the luminaries and solar system? Are you knowledgeable? I am a little bit of the alignments and the heavens coming down, but do you have any information December 2020?
I thought I'd put a chart as well around the time. Let me have a look here. That is 2021, and here we have December 2020. That was on the eclipse. That is the eclipse before the 21st. I didn't look at further. I just took the eclipses. So if we take the solar total eclipse of 14 December 2020, I guess that is the closest to the date that you are saying, the 21st?
Yeah, the 21st is a allegedly a planetary alignment of the solar system that transpires every 6,000 years. So we have periods in time of celestial, luminary, parallels, equinoxes, and that word that brother used there that I forgot. It's gone, it escapes me. And yeah, these are very important. We have energies, magneto, electro, to consider, atom, spiritualism, many things, Nibiru. No, I'm not talking of that, but you know, that's another subject in itself. But yeah, it's going to be
waiting for Nibiru, yeah.
Return of the Anunnaki.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have a look at that. I think that would be very interesting, and I will look at both charts, the tropical and the sidereal. I like to put them next to each other.
Well, we do know that the NLMA has started now, right? So you have all the planets below the north and south node, K2 and Rahu, right? And the only one that's at the top of the chart, if you don't have you'll have nobody on if you don't turn on the asteroids, is Juno, the queen of the heavens, right? And she is the mini me. She is the mini me of Jupiter, which is the teachers of astrologos, astrology. Hence why we're all in this length and this period where we all need to be together. So all the planets are on one side of the north and south node. So we go into that, and then they'll start coming out one at a time. And this is part of the cleanse that's happening.
Yes.
So each one will break free, right? And don't forget, at the end of December is the end of the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, the 2-year conjunction. And don't forget that Eris is coming into our heads to remain during this period. I don't know, I don't have the date exactly in front of me, because she's transiting in and out. She's giving you time. She came in June into Aries. She went retrograde. She came back into Pisces, giving us time to go inward, to clean our thoughts, clean our habits, to get ready for these cleanses. She's coming back in again in May around all these things that are happening in May. May is going to be huge, and huge with cleanses with people with lungs and Gemini. So there's going to be healers coming out like crazy in May, and there's people that need to be healed coming out crazy like in May. So then she's going to go back retrograde again. And then when she comes in for the 3rd time, she's here to stay. And my guess is only the people that are, I shouldn't say only. I don't know what it means, but I do know, and I suspect that it's going to be the people that want to be here and be cleansed to be here, else the karmic infinite rebirth. That there is just a speculation, a theory on my part, but I do know that this is happening right now, and it all lines up. So to your point, David, there is a lot going on, and it has to do with Eris, and it has to do with the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, jumping over the river of heaven to put us to this other side of the magnet, so to speak, the pole shift.
Well, I take Pluto out, but yeah, interesting. I see still the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and Jupiter still not in its own rulership. But by May, Jupiter has moved into Pisces in its own rulership. So then that's when the release will come, and we will be able to get a little bit of air again to breathe.
But don't forget, Pluto right now is sitting in the river of heaven for regeneration. So it's very important there right now. Very important there right now.
Yeah, I have taken out the outer planets a long time ago. I'm not really using them. But
can I just say that we've been going for 1 hour and 3/4 now?
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
We're just getting into it.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
I know, you're very interested in it, aren't you?
Oh, it's great. I would love to talk more with you and see what you are all doing, and maybe we can lay stuff together, maybe outside of
100%. The 3 of us, 4 of us, whatever.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
yeah. And then we can sort out all sorts of things and take our time with calculating and check and do that sort of stuff. Like it.
Exactly.
Cool.
Do you want to have Miriam, I don't know if you'd quite finished, but do you want to finish off in a couple of minutes and then Claudio and David say something?
I think this picture is a nice one to finish off with, because we are all bound indoors now. And before I saw the paintings of Alex Gray, I have experienced this several times. And this exists, this grid of lines, and that is where we are all connected with. You tap into there, and from there you can go anywhere. And I think it's very important to purify yourself, to meditate, and that's where we are very powerful. Get to yourself, know yourself, and enjoy.
Nicely put there. David, do you want to say anything?
I'm stood here. You can't see me, but I'm stood here grinning like a big grinning man. Brilliant. Thank you. You've linked up Miriam. I called you Marilyn, did I? Is it Miriam? Sorry.
Miriam, yes.
Sister Miriam. Sister.
Everybody wants to call her Marilyn. It's Miriam.
I've picked up. I made an error, a faux pas. My star seed sister there. I will address you by the correct calling. Names are out, callings are in, and I've never met you or seen your work or heard your, work phonics. Your first time to meet, and we didn't really have much of an introduction. So this last 120 odd minutes there enough has been an excellent first time introduction, and handshake, if you like, fist bump, cosmic and spiritually. You seem very genuine, and you can back stuff up. You have a passion, and you've presented, I don't know whether you've realized or not, but you have presented a fabulous, insightful, and I'd say from what I can see, and I'm only amateur, but I'm on the below, and you and brother Claudio are in the above, and as above, so below as above. So we are correlating our works here, and as I come across new folk, and I know you've already been vetted by, not vetted, but you come with Sun and Moon, Unscrambled sister, Button Moon here, Karen, and she doesn't just bring anybody that she finds. So she's got an eclectic, selection of ones to chat with, family, clansmans, and you do not seem like a magpie of magic to me. You do not seem like a thief of tradition. You seem like somebody that knows that evil wins when it destroys our faith in the power of good. And you seem to have a lot of the power of good, my sister. I yield and thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
The same to you. All these words.
It's really great when you bring people together, isn't it?
Oh, thank you, Karen.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. We always thank the sister. She knows it. She's just doing a job now. She doesn't need.
No. I just see all the bits of the puzzle. The people with the bits of the puzzle come to me.
Oh, that's great.
Claudio.
Again, a puzzle master. I'll start with thanking you first. You always bring awesome people together. I learned so much from Sister Miriam. Thank you so much, sister. I got some notes down. I'm definitely going to check out Mr. Credo Mutwa there. I just downloaded one of his books from archive.org that's from him, so I'll be reading that to start. And there's always something we can all learn. Really appreciate it. Made a couple notes. The only one I really want to bring up because shortness of time is Ken Wheeler's metaphysics books. If you want them, I can send them to you, because everything happens in physics happens in metaphysics, and when you have that premise that everything starts from, then you can really sift through the waters. Like everything lines up with Plato's divided line and the incommensurate nature of everything, which is the golden ratio series, and the 011 is the first thing that we look at, and he explains those very well. He is the only guy that I know that is able to translate all those ancient texts, and you can't transcribe and translate them unless you have the premise. So everything that he says totally lines up. So if you want those, I can send them to you. It's really good reads. You already have, I'm not sure.
No, I don't have reads, but I've listened to Ken Wheeler several times. Yes, I do sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to bring up Il Copo Mondo. I'm drawing a blank on his YouTube page. Il Compo Legotto. He's from Italy, and he's found that when the planets are in aspect with the moon, when we have the blood moon, this color moon, that color moon, the planet that is an aspect with it gives the color of the moon. So there's more proof that that's not a rock, right? So it's beautiful. He's done a great job on that. He showed me the data just on texting. I haven't put anything together with it yet. I got to see if he's got a video on that. But it is very, very intriguing that we can add to our research.
Great.
Awesome. And then I'm going to leave it at that. Brother David, always a pleasure being with you, man. It's and there is no as above. We all have an as above and so below. We're all the same. We're all the one. I'm going to say it over and over again until everybody gets it. Our yin is connected. Our yin is the black, and the black is the absolute. That's our leash, and we are one. We're going to all think the same and be on the same page eventually as we sift our way through these muddy waters. And it's beautiful and it's invigorating, Karen, to have you put all these beautiful people together. It's awesome. I'm learning so much. And,
my pleasure. I told you you'd like Miriam, didn't I? I told you.
Absolutely. It's about putting down the ego. It's about piecing things together. Very little of this is my own work. Like everybody, we only learn from the greats from before us and the people around us. And everybody's got a message in their words. So you got to listen deeply and go and drop down the ego and go look up. Like, I'm going to look up this guy, this beautiful gentleman. Fortunately passed away. It's awesome that you met him, and I'd like to hear more. So, as Brother David said, I yield. Remember,
Hey, Miriam.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
imitation. Yes, imitation is a sincerest form of flattery, brother.
Miriam, what did you play me? Have you got that little bit there when you played me before the hangout?
Okay.
Where he said, go on, put it on. You'll love this, boys. You'll love it. It's 11 seconds.
With that, I would like to say best wishes and welcome to the arcane world of medieval astrology, where the old ways are the good ways and the earth really is flat. Thank you very much.
Yay!
That was this person. Are you still seeing the hangout? I mean,
Yeah.
screen
Yep.
sharing. Yeah, that was Robert Zoller. He passed away in January, and that what you hear, that was is copyrighted. His work, that is his copywriting work. That was the end of the introduction of the medieval astrology course, and that is, he recorded that in '94. So if there's anyone that should get the credits for telling the world that the earth is flat, and it is this man, Robert Zoller.
Thank you for that, Miriam. Thank you, David. Thank you, Claudio. I'm so glad now that you're connected. I said you'd all like each other, and anyway, I said. Anyway.
All right. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
everyone.
you. And that was a really great hangout. I hope it resonated with people and it's brought other people together. And that's what should be happening now. We should be all coming together, not being separated. But anyway, thank you so much. And it's goodbye. It's mwah, 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 to my panel, mwah, to the chat room. Thank you very much. There's a picture of Robert. What was his name? Zula.
Zoller.
Right. Brilliant. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, Miriam. I want to call you every name under the sun now. Miriam,
Yes.
thank you very much for
Pleasure.
all you've done.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.